Glenn, who's supposed to be my guest today, still hasn't shown up. I might actually have to call him like while we're live here on air. Like, bro, what's going on, man? These time changes, though, they mess with people. Like, it's so hard scheduling things. I'm scheduling some upcoming interviews, and one of the guys I want to interview is this guy. He goes by Mish Chad of Arabia, and he actually lives in the Middle East. And so I'm trying to like figure out the time difference and stuff. It's like a 9-hour time difference. So I'm like, okay, well, is that what if I do it at this time? Is it still the same day? It's crazy. Same thing happens when I'm working with like Jack Napier, because Jack is in the Netherlands. So trying to get that stuff scheduled sometimes difficult. But Glenn's only an hour difference. So I don't know what his excuse is this morning. All right, let's give him a call. Let's see if he's available. Because this was his idea, by the way. If you guys don't know Glenn, he's a co-host on the Dragon Ship podcast. It's pretty good. It's RP Thor's show.
Dude, sorry I'm late. I was on the highway and the fucking baby was running on the highway. Anyway, long story short, that's why I'm 5 minutes late for work, because it took a long ass time.
It's time!
Content in this video may trigger you if you're a pansy, a feminist, soy boy, a white knight. So if you require a safe space and you don't know the real definition of tolerance, I suggest that you turn off this video and go find Drag Queen Story Hour somewhere. You might enjoy that better.
All right, guys, joining me is my man Glenn Lawrence. He's the Manosphere's resident Hollywood heartthrob, and he's also the co-host of the Dragon Ship podcast with RP Thor, and he also does all of the producing for Apex Mindset now. Now he makes videos on YouTube, and a lot of his videos are, he calls them correction videos.
I got Glenn Lawrence with me here today, too.
Glenn, we love Glenn.
The only white man I know on post. Welcome, Glenn Lawrence.
Mr. Glenn Lawrence. There he is, Mr. Handsome, Mr. Hollywood.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Glenn Lawrence. I'm on the road today. I was supposed to be at my destination already, but this thing called traffic kind of set me up. And so I'm doing this stop. I'm doing this show stopped. All right. So my audio sucks. I really don't care. I know it's gonna suck. So don't send me chats about the shitty audio. Just don't do it. But tonight, I know you guys been waiting for this. The battle of the sexes. The He-Man Woman Hater Club versus the Mystique Feminine. Ladies, let's get into it. Let me bring you guys my special guest. I have Angela Knight with me tonight. Angela Knight, where art thou? Where's she at? Did she go away? Did she leave?
No.
There she is. She getting scared off. She didn't get scared off and run away. How you doing, Angela?
Doing great. How are you doing?
I am doing fantastic. And tonight's producer, we got The Huntsman. Where's he at? Where's you show your ugly face, Huds? Why are you wearing your hat backwards?
Because I'm a Philly fuckboy. I look good. This is cool. It's good, right?
Oh, God. Okay, no. So, Huds, this is Angela. Angela Huds. Say hi.
Can I ask the question?
No, you're not asking her the question.
Glenn, come on. This is my opportunity. This is my opportunity.
Angela, I told him that you have a fiance and that you're spoken for, but he kind of has a thing for you, and he has a question.
She's beautiful. She's beautiful. I gotta ask.
Okay, I got it. Stop simping. Okay. Pretty soon you're gonna dye your hair blue and just stop. So, Angela, do you mind if we ask you a question?
Let's go. Do it.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Angela, I love you. You look fantastic today, as always. Now, I need to ask you, in this hypothetical situation, okay?
Oh God, here we go.
In this hypothetical situation, let's say that you were not in a relationship, and there were 2 men left on Earth, myself, and Glenn.
Oh God, please no.
Who would you pick?
Okay. Okay, this is scary because I mean, one person has a very nice beard and the other person has great posture. So I mean,
I'm in a car. My posture doesn't count. Like I can sit up straight.
Are you saying I have a better beard than him?
No.
Yes. I'll DM you guys later. Yes.
Yeah, what yes to both? That's weird.
I'm really bad at this, guys. I don't know who to pick right now. I don't.
Huds, go away. You're scaring her off.
You gotta pick one. You gotta pick one.
No, Huds, leave. You're not.
This was my time to shine. This was my.
Go away. All right. I'm sorry about that. He is a little autistic sometimes. But Angela, welcome to the show. I'm Glenn Lawrence. You probably don't know me, but you do now. And you're Angela Knight, and I didn't know you, but I do now. So tell me a little bit about yourself. Like, I mean, I know what you've been famous for recently, but kind of introduce yourself to my audience if they don't know you, which I'm pretty sure they all do.
Okay. Well, I didn't realize I was famous to the internet, and if I am, it's unfortunate for all the wrong reasons. But my name is Angela Knight, and apparently I don't know, hated or liked, but I'm just a modern woman, I guess, and engaged, and that's my identity. That's it.
Cool. Modern woman, engaged, that's your identity. Now, do you like the title modern woman? Like, is that a good thing? Like, I mean it kind of has a negative, kind of has like a negative like vibe to it these days, right?
Well, I mean, yeah, being Asian during COVID was also negative too, but I seem to survive it, so.
Oh my gosh, that's right. Like, y'all started that whole COVID thing, didn't y'all? I'm kidding. The Wuhan virus. So, okay, look, you popped on my radar because of this infamous like showdown on the Saucecast. Like, it just exploded. Like, all of a sudden, who's Angela Knight? Who's this girl? Oh my God. Tell me about this. Like, tell me your side of the story, because we all heard the internet trolls and their side of the story, right? Tell me your side of the story of how that whole thing went down.
Well, I thought I was being pretty obvious about it, but the whole story was I don't care what I'm used to people being mean on the internet. It's part of the territory. But my thing was like, I don't like to face people in mutual areas and us not like each other and have to fake it. So to me, it was more so like, if we're going to have mutuals, we need to be upfront that we don't like each other. So you don't have to sit here and rate my body count or my mental health, whatever the hell the question was. I thought it was going to be a pretty simple situation, but it kind of turned super sour. And from there, I was just like, well, I guess this went super left, and the rest is history. So that's it.
Yeah, because like, I mean, all of a sudden it just went everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, it went everywhere.
Right.
Like, oh my God, they got him, like that whole thing. Right. Now, from what I've heard and who's the crazy people walking behind me? From what I heard, like, that was kind of orchestrated, right? Like, you were brought on specifically for this reason, right?
I mean, you could say it that way. I had my own agenda with him because I personally, I think it's weird to have like weird beef with people. If you're gonna call me a bitch, say it to my face, and it has to be logical. I mean, if we're saying that men are logical and women are emotional, and you're just calling me a fat bitch for no reason, I want to see why you called me a fat bitch. Did I like put in an application to be your future wife or something? It has to make sense. So if we're gonna say it's ambush, I ambushed him, but I personally would say that Adam and Nat didn't know and they weren't part of it. And the reason why I would say they weren't part of it, and I would back it up with the fact that Nat had a pretty shit attitude throughout the show because she didn't know that I had my own plans of confronting the guy. And the reason why I took so long to confront him was like, it's not my show. I see Adam with the cue cards. I don't know if he knows what's going on. And I don't want to like interject and I don't want to push it. It's not my show. But I didn't want to leave the show not liking this person and have to run into mutual errors with him again. And someone was like, well, why didn't you bring it up the first time you saw him? So for me, it was like, well, fuck, now I'm conflicted. I have to bring it up, but when do I bring it up? And then the perfect timing of Adam asking him to rate my traumatized situation. I was like, wait. It's almost like me disrespecting your mother, and then you have to come be my waiter. Do you want to serve me with good faith, or do you want to be like, fuck this, I want to spit in her food because she's a, annoying person?
I had a really bad mom. So you might want to say like, oh, he has mommy issues, but my mom was pretty like crazy. So I would be like, you're probably right.
Hypothetically.
She probably hypothetically, like, she probably did that to you. Like, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm. Right.
but to each their own. I get what you're trying to say. My thing is like when I looked at it, I'm like, because Nat doesn't like him. That's kind of obvious. That's very obvious that she's cleared that up before. And then you don't like him. So it's like optics look. Perception is everything, right? Perception is 9/10 of the law, right? Perception looks like, the two girls got together and they're like, you know what? This motherfucker's coming on. You want to get him? I want to get him because I can't stand that motherfucker. I can't stand. Did you hear this motherfucker call me? And then it's like, we got him, right? Like that's what it looks like. Is there any kind of truth to that, or is it just like it was just my mind going crazy?
Again, like I would say, I said it again. If it was premeditated, she would have a way better attitude. We would have been jolly, just happy as hell throughout the show because we would have got him in his aha moment. So to me, I can say this until I'm blue. Nobody could believe it. It's completely fine. But to me, perception all day long, I get it. But to me, if it was premeditated, she would have been way happier. It's almost like walking into an ambush. Nobody would have known. So if everyone wants to view it, that's fine. And that's my only position for that.
Okay, let's say like I did what he did. All right. And now I'm gonna like play the role. Like you go ahead and come at me like you came at him and tell me if my answer would suffice. Okay, here we go. Action.
Aren't you the guy who says you're healthy or normal, but you're the one that calls people fat for no reason?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
Who did I call fat?
You?
Who did I call fat?
Me?
I called you fat?
Yeah.
Hold on, let me check my Fat Palm Pilot log.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit. You Knight? My bad. You look better in person. Camera adds 10 pounds. Cameras do some things to people. But I guess I did call you fat.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right, let's move on.
Yeah, that would have been pleasant. So now I know that your character is the type of person who just spews out crazy shit, and it's just not logical, but it makes sense in your world. So now I know where you stand as a human being.
So that would have been a cool, like...
Oh, yeah. I think it's very normal to have different people in the space. Like there's people who have beef all the time, and then we have content together. That's totally normal. But I need to know your character. I need to know how unhinged you are as a person. And there's a time and a place to be funny, normal, angry, passive. You can't just be unhinged all the time and not own it on camera. It's a bit funky.
Oh, no, I get it. I get that. I mean, that's just how I would have responded. I mean, that would have been Glenn's response if I would have done that. Honestly.
Right.
And I'll be like, hey, you know what? Yeah, I'm sorry. Not my cup of tea. But you know what? I may not be your cup of tea. So you know what? Cool. To each their own. Moving on. Like that would have been the end of it to me. Like, I think that would have been an easy way to like end that beef. Personally.
Question: what would you do if you were me? Would you have asked him before on camera? What would your position be if you were me?
I'm not one to like.
Pretend you're a woman though, because I know men handle things different. Women handle it a little different.
Hold on, let me tuck, myself in and put it between my legs and like, okay, hold on. If I had a vagina, how would I do?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Excuse me. Are you the motherfucker that called me fat? Did you call? Look, motherfucker. Let me tell you something. The camera adds pounds. No. Put your drink down. We gotta talk. I probably would have done it at first, but I grew up in the hood with some like girls with hood rats and extensions. So my response probably would have been hood, like theirs. Now if I was a white
would you do it on camera or off camera?
Off camera.
Why? So if someone drags you on camera, you give them the grace of off camera. That's what you would do.
I would want to do it because I'm not in for the sensation of the gotcha moments.
Mm.
So I would be petty on camera, but I would at least dealt with the issue at front then. And then, like, if we're on camera and he said something like stupid, I'd been like, yeah, because all of us are fat bitches over 40 pounds, right? You know, like I would have said something like that, just like to like troll, right? You know, like to kind of let him know that it still bothered me, or like, you know.
But
still
how is that
got to-
logical? I don't understand.
It's
Like how
not logical. It's just like petty, like, you know, funny, petty. Like it's kind of just like I would just do little snippets.
But
of
do you
it.
think that because you're answering that from like a man's perspective, that a man
I'm
can
just-
walk around being comical?
Well, I just think I'm answering that from my own worldview. Like, so
Right.
like,
Okay. So you're answering it from Glenn's point
Yeah,
of view,
yeah,
not
from
from not from Glenda's point of view. I just want to make
not
sure.
Glenda, because I've never met her
Uh-huh.
and I don't plan on transitioning, so that's not going to be a thing.
Okay.
You
I
know
just
what I
want to
mean?
make sure. I just want to make sure because I mean, I think that was the best way I personally would have handled it, but I understand from Glenn's point of view. That makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, but again, everybody has their own way of doing things. It's just like when you're doing something, like I think about it. If how would you feel if the shoe was on the other foot, right? And like somebody like did that to you right then and there, and the time crunch and everything, so the optics just look bad, and then it looks like, you know, you ran off crying or something, right? It would be bad optics. I wouldn't want to put somebody in the worst optics. I would want to give them the opportunity to spar with me, just because I'm confrontational like that. So I just think the timing wasn't probably the best.
I don't think so. I think that the problem with the world is that we platform too many pieces of shits. And then when you have an opportunity to show face, to whether grow, you fold. And in this situation, this person showed that they folded. But I mean, I get it, what you're saying, to give some sort of grace. But I think from time to time, seeing patterns in history of how someone presents themselves and having a platform to teach garbage, and you're choosing that you have a shitty personality, but you're saying high value men act this way. I just think it doesn't really make sense logically, but I can understand what you're saying, but I wouldn't agree with that personally.
Cool. So let's get into like the red pill talking points. Like, do you like agree with anything from the red pill? Like, is there any like of the?
It's so hard to talk about that subject now, because I mean, if we're going by definition, the red pill is what to see the reality of the world and the matrix and all that stuff. But whatever the mainstream stuff is, it now. Go ahead.
Like, I look at it as like this: the red pill is just it's a loose science. It's a praxeology. It's a derivative of intersexual dynamics and evolutionary psychology, and it just tells us what is. This is the general way of behavior between men and women. This is what is. It's not prescriptions. It's not supposed to be prescriptions. Now, people always want someone to tell you how to feel about this information. They're like, well, you told me this information, so how should I feel about it? You know, and, you know, it's one of those things where it's just like, how can we just tell people information without them like taking an opinion or wanting an opinion? Because I think that's one of the hardest problems now with guys is that like they want a roadmap. Like, okay, like they want 12 steps to life. That's what they want. And I think that's stupid.
I agree.
Men need to figure it out themselves. Here's the tools. Now go figure it out. Build your empire with these tools. And take the tools that you want to use and discard the tools that you don't want to use. Like, that's how I look at it. I think that's the best way to look at it.
No, I agree with you with that. I'd have to say, like, to be fair to the whole situation, there is a whole underground of, I guess, like a red pill manosphere thing that no one really knows. And I think there's like maybe a different principle that you guys live by that the mainstream manosphere probably doesn't. And I would say the mainstream manosphere or red pill, whatever the terminology is, to be really honest, I think that's what the average person is exposed to. Because again, people are looking for excitement, they're looking for entertainment, and I think because it's exciting, entertaining, that's where they lead to, and then that's what people know it for. And I know, like, talking to you and even Nuke, you guys have broken it down, like, you know, it's a library, you take, and that obviously that makes sense. I won't refute that. So I agree with that aspect of it. But for the mainstream, if we're saying like, you know, modern women are hoes, generally I could say the modern women I see online, yes, they are acting like hoes. I'm not going to sit here and argue with you, well, not all women, because if I sit here and say like red pill manosphere is pretty garbage, it's fair to say that the mainstream shit is garbage. Now you guys are running a whole operation that stands some sort of principle. That's great. But nobody knows about that because everyone wants to feed into the entertainment part of it. So that's my biggest problem with that whole argument there.
I agree with you. And you know what? Like, me and Rollo were talking about this yesterday, or was it the day before? He broke down like there's like 5 archetypes of the manosphere or the red pill right now. And like there is like the R&D section, and like that's like the research and development side. And that would be like, you know, Rollo, Rhinestone, you know, those guys. And then you got like the entertainers, the reaction people. They did the reaction, and I forgot the other two. Rollo, forgive me. But I fall into the entertainers, but and also like the creative side, because I like to take the knowledge that the red pill gives us, and I like to reenact a scenario where people could actually take that information and visualize it and see like, oh, I do that stupid shit. You know what I mean? Like, and try to learn from it. So there's another way of doing things that I'm trying to do. And I think there's a good mix of it, but I agree with you. I think the mainstream red pill is all about Frank Castling girls, all girls are 304s, you know, you're never going to find a good wife, you know, just all that stuff, you know. And I'm like, well, guys, obviously you haven't really read anything. You just took some watered down content creators version of it and you ran with it. It's too long, didn't read. You didn't actually take the time to read the rationale. You didn't take the time to actually read Praxology by Rhinestone. You didn't take the time to do the work, and you're just regurgitating watered down versions and making it more watered down, and to where it's just like it's like playing telephone. Remember when you're, I don't know how old you are, but when I was a kid, we played telephone and you whisper somebody's ear and it goes all the way around, and by the time it gets it back to the person, it's like a completely different message. Mm-hmm. That's where the red pill is right now.
Oh, yeah, I agree with that. I won't argue with that for sure.
Now,
Glenn Lawrence has been doing God's work.
I know who my God is. Hallelujah.
Here we go. That's one of my, Rollo made that. That's my favorite thing. What would you say? Well, I made it of Rollo, but anyways, what would you say about marriage and like family court right now? Do you think it's a good idea for men to get in marriages right now?
I personally do believe in marriage, and I do believe in all the traditional values as far as people getting together, finding love, cultivating all that good stuff. So I believe in it, but I understand whatever the world is right now, they hate it. But I think that people at this point don't have any idea. If marriage to me is almost like business, like anything, you have to invest into the best business, the best partner. And if you're investing into a business or a relationship and you're worried about the consequences or what if it fails, that's already your first problem. So maybe I just view it different than the average person, but I don't look into a marriage and say, well, what if it fails? Because you're probably already sucking at it.
So I would say this. I don't think, this is just Glenn speaking. Glenn's opinion is that I don't think people really have a problem with marriage. I think the problem is with the way we do divorce. I think the way that we do divorce is so easily, so frequent, you know. The real problem here is the way that divorce is done, not so much the way marriage is, because you wouldn't have a problem with marriage if you didn't have a problem with divorce, right? The consequences of a bad marriage are marrying the wrong person or somebody that you didn't vet properly is divorce. And the consequences of divorce is significantly tilted the scales to one side, right? And like nobody wants to get married and be like, oh, I need to get a prenup, I need to get an LLC and divert all my assets over here. You know, like I have to protect myself like this. I got to make sure that, you know, that like, nobody wants to get into a marriage like that. And it's sad that those have to be options now because the way that divorce is being abused is not beneficial. Would you agree?
Why do you think that divorce isn't beneficial? Can you explain that? I have my feelings on it, but I'm confused on what everyone's definition is nowadays.
So, okay, give you a little background about me. I have a degree in religion from Liberty University. So I hold a very biblical standpoint of marriage and divorce. So in my opinion, according to the Bible, the only reason why you're allowed to get a divorce is for sexual immorality and abandonment,
Mhm.
right? Now, people will throw abuse in there and stuff like that. And I agree. I think abuse is bad too. I think it's a legitimate reason. It's not biblical, but it's at least a legitimate reason in the world sense, right? So that's where my views are, right? So if somebody wants to get a divorce, I think it should fall under one of those categories. And if there's going to be alimony involved and stuff like that. So let's say like you and your guy were married, right? And 7 years down the road, you're just like, I'm tired of your dirty, stinky breath. I want out. I hate the way you snore. I'm done with you. You could leave, but you shouldn't be able to get alimony from that, in my opinion, right? You could like take the assets that you guys had, right, and divide those that you guys acquired together, but you shouldn't be able to get alimony from him, if that makes sense.
I mean, yeah, from this, the hypothetical that you just said, that she decides she doesn't like the way he breathes or smells anymore. Sure. But I mean, I think that's such an extreme example of why alimony even exists.
I agree with alimony in its original sense. What it was designed for, it was designed for, women that were being abandoned by their spouse, ex-spouse, for whatever reason, right?
Right.
I agree with the original sense of it. I think that the divorce laws and the marriage laws have not been updated to current times, because back then women were not making as much money or even working. So these women were left for dead, right? They were just abandoned. So they had no form of resources. So I believe that, yeah, man, you just want to leave your wife for whatever reason. You are now accountable to pay this because this is what you guys signed up for. I agree with that in a sense. But nowadays, with divorce, 70% of divorces, if not more, are initiated by women, right? With most women in the workforce these days, there's not a lot of stay-at-home moms. I just don't think that the penalties should be the same as they were. I think they should adjust them as they come up. Like, okay, you guys are done. You're not in love anymore. Whatever, you want out. Cool. Since there's no fault, there's no like abuse, there's no infidelity, there's no abandonment. You take your shit, you take your ball and go home. I'll take my ball and go home. We'll split up our assets together. But other than that, you're not getting any money from me unless we have kids, and it's child support. That's how I look at it. And I think most guys would be okay with that.
Yeah, sure. If you want that, I think that's a fair point from a man's perspective. But I would also argue and say that, yeah, 70% of it are initiated by women, but it's only because no man's going to initiate it when he has 50% or like his assets to lose. So obviously, if that wasn't part of it, men would be initiating divorces also. It's not because it's just a woman. There's no other option. Nobody else wants to.
Yeah.
But we will feel it. But at the end of the day, like, aren't men leading the relationship? So why is it just a fault that?
No, man.
What do you mean?
Most men are not leading relationships.
But that's the argument. So why are you in a relationship if you're not leading it?
Well, okay, you got to think about it. Complementarianism and egalitarianism has taught men to literally that, happy wife, happy life thing. Right. And I saw your tweet on Pearl about that, by the way. And from a biblical standpoint, they preach that, and they preach the servant leadership. And that's a real bad model to look at, because if men are supposed to lead the relationship, right, then it's like, look, I'm steering, like, me and my girl, I'm steering our relationship in the best direction that's for us and the way that I see fit. And she has to trust me to lead, right? And according to the Bible, husbands are supposed to love their wives, and wives are supposed to submit and respect their husbands. Now, nowhere in there is a caveat that says, love your wife when she only gives you head every day. Love your wife when she's always looking sexy. It doesn't say that. And it doesn't say submit to your husbands when he is doing things that you like him to do, or only respect your husbands when you want to. It's a blanket commandment, like, hey, once you say I do, these are your guys' responsibilities to one another in this covenant, and you must uphold those in the eyes of God. So I think that's like, it's hard to do that with the servant leadership model, because how can a servant lead? Right? You can't lead from beneath somebody. If you're constantly putting yourself beneath them and like, happy wife, happy life. Okay, well, I want to take this family in this direction because this is the vision that I have for our family, and this is what I think is best for our family, but she doesn't like it. So we're going to go way left. And constantly doing that kind of puts you, beneath her, and she's always going to see that like she has
No,
this
I agree.
authority.
I agree with you, but I think that's the lack in knowledge of men and women not understanding the nature within each other. I think that's really the problem. When you have men on the internet doing things that men don't generally do. I would say like that itself, like what are you doing as a man? Like men should be learning what the core of a woman wants so that women can learn the core of what a man wants also. And because of that, no one's doing that. So yeah, he shouldn't be caving and folding every time she wants something in the house. It shouldn't be that. We should actually think about what is she actually telling you to take the dishes out, or does she actually just want a hug or flowers? But instead, she's coping by telling you to take the dishes or wash the dishes and take the trash out. There's things that women do that men don't actually understand. They just say, well, she's just nagging. There's a reason why your mom nags you, because she loves you. She wants you to clean up. She wants to bond with you. She's being a bitch. It's a terrible way to bond with somebody.
Yeah, it's a real horrible way to communicate that.
I'm acknowledging it. I think it's a terrible way, but I think that as this internet, these days that we have open access to actually learn each other. Instead of that, people are just kind of bashing each other. So if I'm bashing you, I don't want to learn shit about you. But if you take the emotions aside, you should actually read through why somebody is acting like a little bitch or an angry person or punching holes in the wall. We should actually learn what that means so that we don't have to go to divorces. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, and this is my beautiful fiance right here, Pillow Talk with Coco. She goes, men are supposed to lead, but women are wanting to have control over the relationship without responsibility of it. Do you agree? I believe that 100%.
Men are supposed to lead, but women want control of relationships without responsibility. On the surface, sure, but I don't think that's actually the situation. It's almost like if you don't have control of anything, you're going to try to control everything, and I think that's just really what it is. I don't think that
agree with you. I agree with you because I have this podcast where I talk about there's a difference between men in control and controlling men. See, men in control, I can only control my world, right? That's what I want in my world. What I don't want in my world. It's my frame, my worldview, right? If like my girl dressed really promiscuously, then she's not my girl. That's how I look at it. It's
right.
Like, because that's advertising for the things. And so if you want to be with me, then you're going to not dress that way. I'm not controlling you, telling you how to dress or what to wear. I'm just telling you what I'm okay with and what I'm not okay with and what I won't allow in my life. Your choice. The choice is yours.
Right.
You can decide what you want to do. Controlling men are going to be like, no, you got to wear this outfit. You better put your hair like this. I don't want you no makeup outside. You better look like a sea urchin all the time. Like that's control.
By going back to it, saying that women want to control the relationship without responsibilities of it. I don't agree with that because I don't think that women actually want to control the relationship. They don't. They just don't have a choice, because if you look at the modern, let's just take an example, the modern guy that's on the internet with a platform spewing garbage. I don't want men like that leading my relationship.
It's funny. We'll get to the super chats in a minute, guys. There's a verse in Genesis. All right. Like I said, Bible guy, here we go. Genesis 3:16. And this is just like right after Adam and Eve got busted for eating the fruit. And Adam blamed Eve for it. It's like, God, it wasn't me. It was the woman you gave me, right? And so he's like rendering their punishment. He's like, you're now going to have to work the land for food and all this other stuff. You're going to have to bust your ass out there every day. And then he goes to the woman, and he's like, you're going to experience pain in childbearing, or, having given birth. And your desire will to control your husband, but he will rule over you. So in a sense, what she's saying with Coco's comment, women are going to want to have that control, but not the responsibility. That kind of aligns with that scripture. The desire is to control your husband, but he will rule over you. So that there's going to be this clash of the titans between the two now, because before this, they lived in harmony and peace. But now that they fucked up and sins on the earth, right? Now that harmony is gone. There's harmony between humans and animals are now gone. Now the lions are going to try to eat you. Now there's also going to be the harmony between men and women are going to be now controversial. Like there's going to be adversarial there. So I could see from that scripture alone that, you know what, women may want to control men, but without the responsibility of it, because they don't want to take, they don't want to be blamed for shit if it goes wrong.
I don't think anybody wants to be blamed for shit when it goes wrong. I don't think it's just a man or woman thing, though.
Do you think there's a difference between responsibility and blame, though?
What do you mean?
Like, if you cheated on your guy, right? He may not be the one he's not the one to blame. He didn't make you cheat on him, but he has a responsibility to act. He has a responsibility decision to decide whether he wants this relationship to still stay or that he's breaking up with you and you need to go. So I think everybody always has a responsibility, but not always the blame.
Yeah, I mean, you could say that, but I think that's I was going back to say that I think it's not like women don't want the responsibility or the consequences of it. Nobody wants to own up to that shit. It's just a matter of character that you build within yourself or the other person. I don't think it has to do with the man or woman thing.
Oh yeah, I think humans lack accountability. Like, it's like, we see all these videos like, oh, we're gonna hold this person accountable, but you got your own skeletons in your closet. It's kind of like he who without sin, go ahead and cast the first stone. But if we're gonna have a standard and say like, this is what a man is and this is what a woman is, then this is the behaviors that then there needs to be criteria. Everybody likes to like give their definition of a high value man and stuff like that, and and sometimes most people don't even meet up to those standards, right? I have my own definition. It is, a guy that has power. Doesn't mean necessarily like he, has powers, but like he has power. He has like authority, right? He says something, people do it. A guy that has good looks and charm. So somebody that is appealing to the eye, right? Girls like hot guys. And a guy that has the ability to influence, that could speak to the masses and people want to, listen to him. None of that has to do with money. None of that has to do with body counts. But I think it's at a very basic general level. You can look at anything from the biblical times to even now. Those qualities are probably in all world leaders and big time influencers, whether they have the power. The power is that they could say something and people will do it for them. They're charming or good looking, right? They're good on the eyes. People like to hear from them, and that they're influential. Like, they could get people to do something without money, not buying them. They're not buying a militia. They're able to influence other ways. Would you agree?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's a pretty easy breakdown, right? You don't have to get a vasectomy for that one, but I mean, still, you might want to. What do you think are feminine traits? What is like a good definition of like a female trait like that guys want in a woman? What is your perspective?
I would say modesty was definitely one of them. I don't know, soft spoken. I don't know if that goes with modesty. Submissive, agreeable, I would say. I didn't put much thoughts into it.
So have you heard of a guy named Thor or RP Thor? He's a buddy of mine, and he's writing this great book right now. It's called Dominant Masculine Presence. Husband, show your ugly face.
I have to do work again?
Yeah, okay. Can you read what Thor wrote about femininity? And I think these are really good traits, and I would love to hear Angela's thoughts on these.
Absolutely. So this is actually a pretty long list, but pay attention to certain things and figure out which ones you want to speak on. So, feminine traits: fit, friendly, feeling sympathy, polite and pleasant, peaceful, accommodating, agreeable, conscientious, nurturing, cooperative, deference for her man and elders with more experiences, etiquette and decorum, trustworthy, respectful, prompt, timeliness, compassionate, passionate, responsible, intuitive, understanding, nesting, eagerness, enthusiasm, naivete and inquisitiveness, childlike curiosity, innocence, self-care, modesty, elegance, restrained sexuality, but unrestrained for her man, loyalty, self-validation, eternal validation, congruence, social awareness, active listening skills, willingness, in relation to deference from before, mirroring, openness, and good nature.
Thank you, HUD. Go away.
You're so mean to me.
Go. So what did you think about that list?
It seems pretty accurate.
I think so too. I think he nailed it on the head, or hit the nail on the head, whatever that saying is. Would you think like most women today display that in the market value, like in the dating world?
What age bracket?
Let's say 20 to 40.
20 to 40. It's a big age bracket, but
I'm just guessing an age bracket.
I would say women in their early 20s. Yes. Women in their later on, no.
So, like, would you have a beef with guys saying like, oh, they want to get with younger women because of those, they may display those qualities, and that's like a bad thing?
I mean, it depends on who's saying it. If the guy kind of matches the qualities, it makes sense. But if it's some bum ass guy who wants that, I think that's a bit of a cop out.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on hypergamy?
I think it's natural.
I think it's a benefit to guys.
Okay.
Actually, I think it actually benefits men more than it actually like is negative. You know, because it keeps the guy, like if he finds a girl, like your guy, he found you, he likes you, he's gonna like work on himself, level himself up to be the best option in your eyes always, so that you don't see anybody else, right? Because you don't get the inclination to leave, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a motivator. I think it benefits guys.
Right.
Would you agree?
Yeah, of course I agree with that. So you're saying this is like a social thing or age thing or just overall? Like
Just overall.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. I think it's beneficial. I think it could be detrimental to women as they get older. You know, I think women that tend to get older, they tend to struggle with trying to find the guy that they want, because again, the sexual market value is different for men and women, you know, overall. You know, we see the average thing going on. Not saying that there's outliers and that there's not like groups of guys that like specific type of women that are not the, you know, on the average curve here, but you know, I think it could be detrimental to women in their older age. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, my thoughts are, yeah, if you're speaking, I would say people on social media or influence, you feel like you have options. There's other people that look good, better than whoever you're sleeping with. So you're always going to be looking for the grass on the other side. But in my opinion, I think average people date average people. So yes, it may be harder for you to date as you get older, but if you're pretty average and you're working with another person that works with you, a guy or a girl, you're probably going to be with somebody. So I don't think everyone's always aiming after the high value guy, especially if they don't even know what that term is. It just really depends.
It's so subjective.
Unfortunately, it's subjective, but I think like, yeah, me being exposed to this online world, I think I'm aware of it. I'm more educated about it more than ever. But I would say prior to this whole internet stuff, I've never heard about this stuff, nor have I ever thought about it. And the average people in my life back in Tampa, this doesn't affect them. So maybe, it's just an internet thing, in my opinion.
Like, do you find like yourself like spiritual or religious? Do you have like hold a belief system?
I do believe in God. I'm not quite, religious and all that stuff. I think it's just something that comes natural for me in time. But the way I grew up, it's been, I would say, overly exposed to all the wrong reasons. It's almost like you recognize like the manosphere religion. People tend to change it the way they want to. They curate it the way they think it's right. So it kind of takes away the true meaning of being in a community or religion. So for me, that's something I have to figure my way around that slowly, but I do believe in like some set of moral compass, and my fiance is very much into it. So he's kind of my guidance when it comes to that.
I think that's a good thing. I think he's supposed to lead you spiritually, and if he is, if he has a good relationship with God, and good walk with that and understanding, I think that would lead you guys down the right direction that you guys need to go, Huds, let's do some super chats. We got 15 minutes left. I want to do some super chats, and then I want Angela to like grill me on whatever she wants to grill me on. Just don't make fun of my ears, because I know they're big, and my uncle made fun of me a lot as a kid, and I really don't want to get triggered right now and then start doing a whole bunch of hate tweets on you. Okay. So leave the ears. Huds.
We lost him.
I'm
Because I
gonna
can
fire
show
his
my
ass.
ugly face.
Okay, tweets, please, or tweets, super chats, and all that other good stuff. Let's go with it.
So I want to call out Just Jerry. I'll get back to him again in a second. But shout out to you, man. This is absolutely fantastic. Thanks for becoming a member. That is fantastic. We're gonna have a lot of great stuff here. And then we've got Scotty B here. Just showing love, and I appreciate it. It's absolutely fantastic. Love you, brother. Hope you stick around for a lot of interesting content as we go along. And then we had this question from Tuj Rusbe, I guess. So he's essentially asking you, Angela, have you ever tried getting like-minded men and women on your podcast to have dating and relationship debates?
I have not, just because I don't generally like hosting debates or podcasts, and I'm not really familiar with the online world. I used to do like in-person things like that, but I don't really like people in my space, and I'm kind of a weirdo, so no.
Wait, explain that. What do you mean by you're a weirdo?
Like I speak when I need to speak, but generally I'm sort of an introvert, and I know people don't really agree with that because they see these 10-second clips of me saying things and they're like, oh, she's probably like, unhinged or whatever. But I don't smoke or drink, and I'm pretty boring. And for me to be around people, if it
doesn't speak until she's spoken to. No, I'm kidding. I'm sorry, Angela. I'm sorry for interrupting. Go ahead.
No, you're good. You're good. So for me personally, just because I talk when I need to say something, because I don't think people should be spewing shit all the time. You should really just talk when you have like to say checkmate or some shit. So personally, being around people all the time, I don't see any value in that unless there's just like a goal. And hosting a podcast, you may have an agenda, what you want to accomplish, but everyone is there for a different reason. So it kind of takes the fun out of hosting a podcast, to be really honest.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. That's fantastic. And then Jerry threw in again, not just joining, but also donating $5. Dude, I love Jerry. He's been such a supporter. This is fantastic.
Me and Jerry talk like throughout the day on Instagram. Like he always hits me up like, hey, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm doing this. He's like, oh, cool. I love Jerry. Jerry, you're not milking me though. You're not milking me. I'm sorry. It's not happening. I'm not Abba. Moving on. So, Ange, this is your time to just ask me whatever red pill questions or whatever questions you want to ask me, if you have any.
Interesting. I don't have any actual questions and specifics. I think that you're pretty cool. I only have compliments to give you. I think that you're pretty open to a lot of conversation. I think you're funny, which is rare. I think you interact with some pretty interesting people, but I guess I can't judge since I interact with some pretty interesting people also. So I guess who you interact with is different than who you are, which I think some people like Tomasi should learn from that. So no, that's it. I don't really have any questions and specifics.
Would you ever be willing, if I hosted like a one-on-one with you and Tomasi and moderated, would you be down to do that and let me moderate? Just that, like, he didn't ask me this. It's just since you brought him up. Like, would you be interested in doing that?
Yeah, sure. My biggest thing is I don't. My point in my life right now, I don't really care for the panel podcast because I personally think they invite a bunch of dumb broads on there that aren't realistic standards of women all around the world. There's hot women all over the world in every major city, but that's not the vast majority of women. So I'm not there to argue with a bunch of bimbos. I'm there to debate with him, since he is the type of guy to throw my mugshot on Twitter unprovoked for no reason, which I thought that was the most unattractive thing a man could do, considering he's leading a whole manosphere space. I don't understand the point of that. So it's kind of hard to look at him and respect him as a high value man if he's doing stuff like that. Just my personal opinion.
Real quick question before HUD comes in. We gotta admit that wasn't like the most flattering picture you ever taken either, though. Like you're just like mad as hell that you got busted. So it's like,
what do you mean? It's a mugshot, so I don't get it.
I know.
Who's happy getting a mugshot? Like I don't get it.
Have you seen some of those mugshots though? Like guys are all smiling.
If you're like a celebrity or like a loony, but like living out of your car, being homeless isn't the best situation to get a mugshot. No.
That's true. I agree with you there. But I mean, like,
And to me, like, what was the relevance of posting that? Like, I don't get it. So yeah. So to me, if you're gonna publicly act like a jerk, then we're gonna publicly discuss this. But I don't want to talk to 5 people. I want to talk to him. That would be
Yeah.
my personal
Yeah,
thing.
that's what I'm saying. I will moderate. It'll be you and him. Just the two of you. I will ask questions, let you guys, go back and forth, and then I will just keep the train on the track. But I want to say this about Access Vegas. They have a lot of women are very dressed provocatively. They're good looking, but a lot of them are very smart. We had girls with masters on there last night.
Oh no. Like
multiple degrees.
I won't knock to say that they're like there's a difference between like book smart and street smart and common sense and all this stuff. You can be completely book smart and be completely disconnected to the real world.
Oh,
or
I
just
agree.
in general.
I agree. Like Huds, he's really book smart, but he's stupid as shit. And I love him to
Excuse
death.
me.
It's the truth. But what did you want to say to her? Because you just interrupted our conversation. Go on.
Yeah, no, I think it's a really great question. And I really want to understand what other people think about this. So I would agree with you. It's like it's like panel shows, bringing on bimbos, stupid stuff. It's just entertainment. So what would you suggest we do as men instead? What do we do to like kind of share this message in a better way?
Oh no, share the message, but I think it's fair to acknowledge that it's entertainment. Like there's facts within the stats. I won't dismiss that, but I think that it's fair to say like it's entertainment at the same time because the average woman does not agree with those stats. The average guy also can't sit at that table and argue because the average guy isn't high value enough to sit at those tables. So a lot of these things you guys talk about, I'm not dismissing that they aren't real. It's just only real for the major cities, for the big tits and the big lips and the suited dudes like that. It makes sense for that world. But what about the rest of the people? Everyone else, the mass majority of people who may adapt those and think like, yeah, I have to be 6 feet tall and 6 foot. And maybe not you guys specifically saying that. A different panel, obviously, a different podcast. That's all I'm simply saying.
But do you actually know that Glenn is actually 5'6"?
Oh, that's cool. Shout out to
I
Glenn.
am 6 foot even, you asshat. Okay, I competed in bodybuilding. They did my height every single time. I'm 6 foot. Go away. All right. I think it's interesting. I think there's like some podcasts. Like, would you like? Okay, I saw this article. Was it New York Times? I'm pretty sure you saw it. This is like the new podcasting trend is to like shame women, right? And do this whole like make them look stupid. Do you agree with that?
No, I think that there are a bunch of dumb women that go in there and say stupid shit. I won't dismiss that. But I think that like when I go in these shows and I have a question, I usually get dismissed or a TTS gets read over me. They don't really want the pushback. So to me, it's like, okay. And then we have like 3 guys dogpiling, but when I do it to MLD, it's a problem. So I just think there's a bunch of hypocrites in the space because they do it to women all the time. And, you have maybe like 2 girls who have like conservative values or have their own minds, but then you have like 5 girls who are just dumb as shit, who are pick-me girls, who are just like, yeah, oh my God, we should do that. Like, what do you mean? Why are you mean to him? And I'm like, dude, like, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the host. I'm talking to this guy. And then you have a TTS that will come in and then the whole room just changes and it changes subject. It happens countless times. So my truth, I have zero desire to go on a panel podcast. If I don't agree with somebody, if somebody has a problem with me, I'd rather just debate it out, even if I'm a loser. In my mind, I'm a nobody. I'm not book smart. I just understand what's logic, what's not logical. We can discuss it. You can educate me. I have no problem taking accountability for my ignorance. But when somebody's saying that they are a man and they're acting like a woman, that's where I disagree with.
Okay, cool. I think that's good. Because I don't think like the podcasts make women look stupid. I think women tend to make themselves look stupid on podcasts.
Yeah,
right?
well, I think that people aren't smart enough to catch that some questions are aha questions. Like if you ask them a question, like you're asking me a one-ended question, I can't continue explaining it because you're just asking me a yes or no question. But if I don't get to explain it, I'm like a dumbass. And it took me about 2 shows to realize like, I'm coming on there with a passion to talk about something that I truly believe in. But they're asking me questions that are irrelevant. Like if I'm engaged, why are you asking me who it's the last time I slept with somebody? Like that's just a stupid question. What's your body count? What's the relevance of that? And then you're gonna ask me questions that it's a dating podcast, but I've never seen people leave there holding hands. I've never said, you know what? I like how many people you slept with. Let's get together. It's always been everyone hates everybody. So it's not a dating podcast and it's an exposing podcast. This is like a statistic podcast and it's entertainment and it's completely fine. Just own it is all I'm simply saying.
My answer about the whole like body count thing is like you're never gonna really know the truth, so just watch the way they behave.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. That's why I say like the body count stuff is irrelevant because you can watch the way her Instagram look, how she walks, how she talks, who she hangs out with.
I mean, like the body count in the science aspect there is statistics that prove like, certain effects that does happen, right? When there's somebody with high body count, but you're never going to know the true answer. Like a girl may say like, oh, I only had like 5, and she could have like really 500. You're never going to know unless the way that she behaves with you, right? Like you're not going to know the number. Just watch the way she moves. Like Rolo wrote the blog, the medium is the message. Watch the actions rather than the words that come out of their mouth, right? So I think that's just one of those like questions to get the chat all riled up. Like,
Yeah.
ooh,
That's what I'm saying. It's entertainment. It's all entertainment. And for me, I don't find any impact in joining those type of spaces. I don't care for those type of subscribers and those type of people. It's all like the wrong type of attention. Like, it's fair to say there's good attention and bad attention. Is it fair to say that? Yeah, I don't need that type of attention. Like I'm happy with my 5 subscribers and my 5 people that I surround myself. I don't need 5,000 bots or 5,000 incels following me, where like if I say one thing, they agree if it benefits them, but if I challenge them, they stake me and crucify me because it forces them to grow up or, be a better person. Like I don't need that. I like people around me that take accountability and hold me accountable if I happen to act crazy. I'm completely fine with that. I live up to my own standards, and I think that other people should too. But again, it's a content space. I'm aware that some things are just entertainment. The people that I interact with that are smaller channels, they hold a sense of like principles that they live by, and I like that. So to me, those people don't get the crazy limelight, these entertainment, kicking out Frank Castle, bimbos, big tits, anime, all that stuff. That's great, but just acknowledge that it's very Jerry Springer-like. Like that's basically, but sprinkled in a little bit of facts, little stats, completely all there, and I'm completely aware of it. I'm aware of it, but I'm also in the content space. Most people are just consumers; they don't know that.
Exactly. So Rolo, if you're watching this, sir, you should be home by now. Angela agrees; she will do a podcast with you and let me moderate. So let's set the date for that. That'll be fun. Rolo, get at me.
Wait. To be fair, is this a virtual or do I have to fly out?
No. We'll do it virtual.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Yeah, I mean, if you wanted to fly out, you can fly out. But I mean, if we'll just,
I'm not really into flying, but thank you.
Okay. I mean, there's always a train, bus, car, boat. But yeah, we can do virtual. I don't think you'll have a problem with that. So let's do that. That'd be cool. Well, Angela, we are about to hit the hour mark. I'm ready to wrap up because I got to get back on the road to go get my girl and get you back to your man. So any last final thoughts?
No, this is great. Thank you for hosting this. This is very interesting, and I like the banter. It was cool.
I appreciate you. Thank you for coming on. Everybody, thank you for your super chats. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Stay tuned. I will be on Rule Zero tomorrow morning. And I will be on the Dragon Ship with Thor. I believe I'm not sure if Paul's going to be on, but stay tuned. That's going to be a good topic. Angela, do you have any shows coming up that you're going to be on that you want to let the viewers know so we can catch you? Where can they find you? All that good stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You guys can find me under Angela Knight 2.0 under YouTube, Instagram, or Twitter. And I stream usually Wednesdays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. That's it.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Angela, for tonight. Great conversation. I appreciate you coming on. Go ahead and stay tuned after we go off live. We'll chat for a minute, and then I'll let you go.
Awesome.
For everybody else, till next time, peace.